Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards of Football Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host and producer for the show, Logan Landers. And today I'm going to be talking about the 2024 Michigan Wolverines team preview, talking about the champs from last year and if they could potentially repeat as national champions. But before I get into it, talk about this team, their offense, their defense, obviously a new head coach as well. If you guys enjoy this episode, please be sure to give us a like, follow, share, subscribe on Facebook and on YouTube also. And also be sure to go and download our podcast on all major podcast streaming platforms like Spotify and on Apple Music. Well, let's get into it, guys. Michigan Wolverines 2024 team preview. Brand new coach, Sharon Moore. He is going to be taking over, which, of course, we all know Jim Harbaugh has left and gone to the National Football League. Well, with Moore, this is going to be a brand new team, pretty much. There's a lot of guys who have left the program from last year. High draft picks for a lot of first round talent, a lot of big name talent has left. So this is going to be a very interesting season. New head coach and a lot of brand new players. Now, quarterback position, I mean, there's really not a solidified starter as of yet. There's not really a guy that you look at and say, okay, this guy right here is going to be getting the ball on day one. You don't really know that quite yet, just because you have options, right? You've got Jaden Denigal, Jack Tuttle as well, Alex Orgery, a couple of guys, but it's just hard to tell. I mean, you have a true freshman, Jaden Davis, who could maybe take it, but it's not a set in stone guy who's going to be quarterback. So remains to be seen who's going to be that top guy, who is going to be getting that spot. Obviously, the rushing game, you lost Blake Corum, but you have kept Donovan Edwards. You've got guys like Khalil Mullings as well, who was a little bit banged up last season. Expect Edwards to get a heavy dose of snaps this season. You also have some guys helping out like Benjamin Hall and Cole Cabana, as well as Jordan Marshall. Really good deep running back room there, so expect them to take over maybe some of the workload for this upcoming season. When you look at the wide receiving core, man, obviously you have to look at Samaj Morgan, a guy who is really going to have to help out. Early freshman, but he kind of needs to have a good year. And I say that because they've lost Roman Wilson, Cornelius Johnson, Darius Clements. I mean, this wide receiver room got gutted. It's going to be interesting to see some of the guys who have to step up and earn it this upcoming season. I think Edwards as well in the backfield. I mentioned that, but he's probably going to see a lot of balls thrown to him as well as out of the slot and in the backfield as well. It's going to be interesting when you look at this defense as well. Some of the guys. Actually, let's go to the O line first. Talk with the big guys up front. Then we'll go over the defense. You're getting a brand new coach as well, Grant Newsom, who's going to be taking over for the O line. You've got some guys, right? When you're looking at just big players, you've got guys like Hinton, right? 6'6", 340, big guy there who's looking really solid, really good. And this is a team who they have lost a lot of talent on their O line. When I say a lot, they have lost 6 offensive linemen. That is no small feat. So you're going to have guys like Miles Hinton, Andrew Gentry, Jeffrey Percy. You've got a lot of guys like Raheem Anderson as well, Greg Crippen, Giovanni Ohadi, Josh Preby. Just a few guys who are going to have to really just step up this year. Like I said, you've lost 6 offensive linemen to the NFL draft. So it's going to be an interesting season to see how this group can gel, how they can really get it going. But expect for Miles Hinton and Andrew Gentry to be 2 guys to really kind of anchor that O line early on and really help out. Also, I think that Greg Crippen, another guy, he's going to be competing for a starting job, but we'll see what happens there with them. Now let's head on over to the defense. Talk about them. Let's start with the edge rusher. Like I said, 7 guys from Michigan's top-ranked defense last season. They're also gone to the NFL. So you're going to have a lot of brand new guys on defense as well. Some guys you can expect, though. Josiah Stewart and Derek Moore as your edge rushers. On your D line, you've got Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham. Both those guys were really good last year. Expect them to really keep it up this year and have a really good season. Linebacking core, you've seen guys like Jashawn Barn and Ernest Hausman, to name a few. Cornerbacks, you've got Will Johnson and DJ Waller. So that's going to be the two running mates out there in the cornerback position. And then in the safeties, you're going to have Makari Page and Zeke Berry. So when I look at this team, let's look at their schedule for Michigan this upcoming season. Some tough tasks. You're going to have Texas early on. You're going to have USC. You're going to have Washington. You're going to have Michigan State, Oregon, and then of course you're going to be facing off against the Ohio State Buckeyes end of the year before the Big Ten championship. And as I mentioned in my Ohio State preview, it's going to be a little bit tougher this year because we've mentioned that they have expanded that conference. There's more teams, so there's going to be more chances to, if you lose a game, you might drop a little bit in the standings out there, but that is going to see what happens. I think Michigan, I think they're going to have a good season overall. I don't know if they're going to be quite there to get a national championship again, back-to-back years, just because of the amount of talent they've lost. You also have a brand new head coach, pretty much a brand new staff as well, a lot of new guys coming into the fold, mixed with some veterans as well. But I think Michigan's a team who is going to have a good season, but I think they're going to be having to really fight this year if they're going to want to win the Big Ten championship, let alone get to the college football playoffs, also get to a potential national championship game. That would be, I think, exceeding expectations for me. I think they're going to compete, but I don't know how deep this team can go just with the amount of turnover that they've had. But I want to hear your comments, your thoughts. How do you think Michigan will do this upcoming season? Will they be better than I think? Will they maybe fall a little bit more? We will see, but I will hear from you in the comments on Facebook and YouTube. Also, go and download our podcast as well. Until next time, everyone, go and watch some game film. College football is right around the corner, and we'll talk.